Well, speaking of other talent relations issues, apparently now one of the people that will not be getting phone calls from Tony Khan and that we will not be seeing on television in the very near future and potentially even the far, far future is Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. She has been she has been X'd from their world like a member of the Manson family because she's hard to get along with. Another talent relations solution to the problem. Just don't talk to her. Is this what's happening?
What are you saying is the solution to not talk to her?
I'm saying it's another talent relations solution of theirs. They're just not going to talk to her. She's just gone home.
From AEW, apparently.
Yes.
And again, this is in line with things we've been hearing for a while. One thing came out very publicly, if you remember, a few months back with MJF. I think it was MJF versus Will Ospreay. They had a great match on TV. And the word was that Britt Baker was in the women's locker room or in the back tearing it down. And how come they don't get enough time? She deserves more time, not this. And it led to an incident, a screaming match of sorts. But that wasn't the only thing. There have been rumors about her and Jamie Hayter. Everyone wondered, why isn't Jamie Hayter doing something with Britt Baker now that she's back? Apparently there may have been some issues there.
Because Jamie Hayter hates her.
And those are kind of the Thunder Rosa stuff. I mean, that's been out there for quite a while. I think even some people who visited the locker room and worked one date or something, Lufisto. You know, there were these issues about the AEW women's locker room. And for a lot of the issues around the locker room, Dr. Britt Baker kind of put herself front and center because of her relationship with Tony. And I think...
Well, now we as close friends.
I don't mean anything. No. I don't mean anything. I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised.
No, that's.
You may want to call Manscaped. Sure. I don't know. You may need some help, doctor. I don't know.
I didn't want to ruin our credibility at a variety of levels by insinuating that was.
But she was an early AEW person who, when they were a very close-knit group, she had a good friendship with Tony Khan. He hired her boyfriend at the time, Adam Cole. And there are certainly people that thought she got very cozy in her relationship and her position in AEW. And part of the other issue is she kept getting hurt. This isn't one of the issues with her behavior, but if you're looking at the bigger picture about her versus other stars and, hey, you don't just, freeze out stars.
They paid her while she was hurt and were sure that they, took care of their medical. But the point is, life goes on. You can't grieve forever. And
she's not Rhea Ripley. Yeah, she's not even Sasha Banks. Like, she's not.
Well, yeah, but other people rose up to take those places while they were not ignoring young Dr. Baker.
However, Dr. Baker may have still thought she was the queen of the castle. No matter what town that castle was in, even if it was half filled or a quarter filled or...
if it was a bouncy castle.
Whatever it may be. And AEW is a changing company right now, and the women get along a lot better when she's not around. There was an incident, I guess, where Serena Deeb... remember her and Serena Deeb were briefly doing something?
I've tried to put it out of mind.
Well, Serena Deeb apparently was like on the platform, I think, and Dr. Britt Baker was in the ring, and this is the last thing of Dr. Britt Baker on AEW TV, I think. She said, "Who cares?" Or "Nobody cares. Nobody cares."
Nobody. Oh, that's when Serena came out. When she waving her flag of?
That's right.
Of she's from the Isle of Malta or wherever the fuck, and yeah, nobody cares. Apparently nobody cares for me.
So again, reports started emerging that kind of were completely in line with everything we had heard. And I guess the new wrinkle is that she's being, I don't know what you call it, mirrored? I don't know what you call it. You're home and you're paid and your contract's going to keep running.
They just don't call you anymore.
And, I don't think they're going to fire her. I don't think they want her doing interviews. I'll tell you that right now. The last thing Tony Khan wants is Britt Baker doing interviews with her thoughts about AEW. Whether they're true or not, that's the last thing they want.
I'm sure right before she rebooks Rogers and O'Connor from Chicago in '61, she can give an excellent fucking dissertation on what's wrong with AEW.
She was suspended over the summer, right? That was the MJF thing. She got suspended right before Wembley, and then she had to wrestle Mercedes Moné at Wembley, and then she disappeared again.
Well, you know what? They discovered when she got suspended that things were so much brighter. That everything tasted better and everything smelled better. And it was just a new way of looking at life when she wasn't around to yank their teeth.
According to Sports Illustrated, I have an article here. She's wrestled just 2 matches since her TBS title shot in London. Most recently, she defeated Penelope Ford on the November 13th episode of Dynamite. That's when she was confronted by Serena Deeb. On DDP's YouTube show, she announced that she's been off TV due to outside commitments. Here's a quote. "I'm filming some fun stuff. Can't wait to tell everybody what it is." It's on the down low for now, but it's really exciting and it's cool. It's really cool. I think people will be really excited about it. And of course, she is apparently has a role of some sort in season 6 of Cobra Kai with Martin Kove. I know someone who's friends with Martin Kove. Maybe they could ask.
He's a nice fellow. I'll see if I can get the scoop on this. But, well, and it's another thing. Outside commitments, that actually, if you had technically been picked up by the fucking county and committed, that would be an outside commitment. So we don't know what she's talking about there. But
has anyone's stock fallen as far?
Well, that's
in Tony Khan's eyes, let alone ours. In the women's division there, like Britt Baker.
That's what I'm saying is how, again, this was what they were building around. Remember, she was the original top babyface because, and I thought, and they could have gone further, with it in a more professional tone, but she's a professional person. She's a medical professional. She's educated. She's purty. You could run with worse than that as the face of your women's division, but then they switched her heel and she twisted in the wind for a week or two, and then potentially her natural personality came through. Maybe they were ahead of us on this, Brian, and they knew when we thought they were crazy for switching her heel. They said, no, you ought to know her. If you just met her, you know why we're doing this. But, did she think that it was all going to last forever? Or why is she so hard, I wonder, to deal with? Because it's not like she's replaced Wendy Richter in the pantheon of, pivotal female figures in the wrestling business, is it?
No, and that's the thing right there. She's difficult. At least some people see her as being difficult to work with.
Like pulling teeth, as they used to say in the locker room back in my day. Like pulling teeth to work with.
And again, when people talk about WWE or NXT, I just don't know if the work is there with her. And I think she's been, to the best of Tony Khan's abilities, which aren't great, she's been kind of covered up, and they've hid the weaknesses with her more than anyone else. Notice how many promos were in the back, pre-tape, because it may not have worked as well in front of the crowd, and her matches would fall apart often. Remember one time she ran to the wrong corner?
Well, yeah, but that was covered up by so many of the other matches falling apart so often.
Yeah, the tooth and nail match, remember that?
Oh, we instituted a rule forever, and somewhat to this day, of not watching Britt Baker matches and Big Swole, but fortunately that's become easy as pie to not watch her.
Yeah, and now every participant in that match is gone. Or, well, I guess Britt Baker's not officially gone. But that's the other thing. I bring up NXT. I don't know if they would, what are you bringing in? And if she wants to go to NXT or WWE, you likely got to give up your dentistry completely. It's not like AEW where you go play around with that on the side.
Oh, well, I thought that would have to be a deal breaker then, because, I can't imagine Dr. Britt Baker giving up servicing other people's and their dental emergencies. She's a lifesaver.
I'll leave it at that. Dr. Britt Baker, that's the Dr. Britt Baker news, though, Jim.